Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Smitty and this is my recap of the Australian Arnold Classic held in Melbourne.
Hold on! Let's go!
I competed in the under 80 kilo division. There was 8 or 9 of us. A few people did pull out. I think one guy, Aaron, didn't make weigh-in. A couple of new people that I haven't met before or competed against, and a couple of old-timers that I've competed against many times. Been putting off making this video. It's Wednesday now and the competition was on Friday. Been putting it off because I finished third. I was half a point behind first place. 2 guys finished on 35 points. Myself and a guy called Steve finished on 34.5 points. So half a point. I came third on countback. If I had that extra half point to tie with the other 2 guys, I would have won the competition on countbacks. So, third sounds okay, but I went there to win and to perform how I did on most of the events and still come away with a third place or come away with a loss is pretty disappointing. It took me a while just to watch these videos. It's been about 4 or 5 days. I'm not too butthurt or anything about it. I had a bit of a sook when I left the competition, kind of had to put on a brave face while we're there for the photos and everything. And then when I got back to the hotel room with Alira, kind of had a sob on her shoulder for about 60 seconds. And then we just get over it and move on to the next one. And I have no doubt that I'll make up for it one day. I learned a lot through this one. I'm gonna go through the videos and chat about how I went and then just share some training footage as well. First event was the axle squat. You can see it looks pretty beastly, built by Stand or Submit. 200 kilos, max reps in 60 seconds. They call out 3, 2, 1, go, then you unrack the bar. This is my 3rd time doing squats in a strongman comp, and I've probably done about 30 comps, so they're not massively common, but when you do a lot of comps like I do, they pop up. So the first rep there, that was the first rep that we got to do using that axle to those boxes. We warmed up with a normal axle, and just a free squat, not touching the platform. So I kind of took it easy on the first one here. I was lucky enough to go last or second last in one of the last groups. So 14 reps was the score to beat. So I hit 15 for a first place in this event. You can see I'm really got a wide stance and got the suit on. The suit fits okay. It allows me to use a wide-ish stance. Kind of lost balance there. It was floating around a fair bit. If I needed to do 20 reps, I was telling myself that I could have done it. I was telling myself during training that I was going to hit 20 reps on that, and I think if I'd had to hit 20 reps, I probably would have gone out a lot faster, and therefore potentially maybe have missed a rep or fatigued a bit. So I took my time a little bit with it and ended up getting the 15 reps, which was enough for the win. And it hurt pretty bad. In training, I hit a 245 in reps close to parallel. That was the biggest lift that I did in training. And I did a lot of box squats as well. This is 180 for a quick set of 5. Probably 70 to 80% of my squatting was to a box or to pins with bands and chains. So I did a lot of the pin squats there, pausing at the bottom. That made up the majority of my training to win that event. Next was the farmer's carry, 100 kilos per hand, 25 up, 25 back. This was, I think I came like 5th or 6th. I might have come 6th in this, so this was a bogey event for me. Strangely enough, I don't think I could have done better. I have a few ideas for next time. I was pretty happy with this run to not drop it, to not stumble. I haven't got my official time. I've timed it. It's around 22 seconds. I struggle with height. I've kind of frozen it here so you can see the other 2 guys are holding it a little bit more forward and I'm in the middle of the handle. Because I'm so short, it's a really high pickup. I think moving forward that's something that I'm going to have to do to give me a little bit more space at the front. I think I'll be able to go a bit faster. Same run, just from the, this is from the live feed. I just filmed the live feed. So you can see that my foot pace is pretty good. My foot speed's pretty good, which I've been working on. Because it's so low to the ground, you can see here my start. I have to wait for that tip a little bit. So if I can try and get those handles a bit further off the ground, I think I can move a bit faster. If I can move half a second faster, I win the whole competition. It just comes down to those milliseconds and little changes that I can make, and there's one change that I could make. My training was pretty normal for the first few weeks. This is two different videos side by side of 90 kilos per hand for the same distance. And the top right video, I know you can't see me now, the top right video I made a couple of changes on my pickups, and you can see at the end here it really pays off, and I'm able to finish a lot faster, a bit more upright. So that's the same weight, same day. Monster dumbbell, missed the first half, didn't get anything on film. I believe I got 10 reps. I'm pretty sure I got 10 because Alira keeps teasing me because she got 11. This is 55 kilos. The shirts were slippery for everyone. We were allowed to go no shirt or shirt, but we couldn't put on a different shirt. I think they changed the rules for later weight categories. I mistimed it there and dropped it, but I was really proud that I picked it straight back up. And that felt okay. That was another first place, so I won that event. I think a few people might have been 1 rep behind and 2 reps behind. Couldn't fit that one in. Training for this one was a little bit different. This was the only time that I did 55 kilos for reps in training. And I think I get 8 reps here in about 40 seconds, so I was pretty confident that 10 would be a minimum reps that I'd get on the day. I was actually shooting higher, 12 or 13. You can see I'm jerking in this video. Whereas on the day I just push pressed. Yes, this was the only time I did comp weight. Leading up to the competition I did a lot more work with 50 kilos and 45 kilos to practice moving faster, basically. Just ending on the left here, just to keep things even. And this was the biggest weight I hit in training, which was 75 kilos, pretty easy. I didn't really train too heavy in training for the monster dumbbell. It was giving me a little bit of grief training heavy on the monster dumbbell, on the obliques and everything, so I opted to train that one a little bit lighter and go for speed, and it paid off. The deadlift event, I think me and my crew must have been the only people that didn't know that the silver dollar was the mystery event, so we hadn't trained it before. This thing wobbles all over the joint, was pretty hard. I was the shortest in my field, and I've got a strong deadlift regardless of that. So this was a tie for first. Me and Steve tied for first on this event. And you can see there on the left side, the whole thing's coming off. You're supposed to have 10 seconds rest between reps. But I think Jamie, the judge, stopped his clock on this one so that they could fix that little mishap. And then this one here, I almost lose balance, just get the down call. Kind of falling forward a bit there, so I was lucky to get the down call. I don't like leaving things to chance like that normally. My reps are all smooth. This one here gets off the ground, straps slip. If I'd locked that out, I win the competition. It's literally just comes down to stuff like that. Straps slip and I finish in third. If I'd locked that out, I get the win. Next event was stones. Training was bloody hard. I trained with a 120 stone to really high for most of the weeks, and then on the day 110 for reps. I needed 8 to tie with a bunch of people. I was winning going into this event by 1.5 points, maybe 2 points. I needed 8 here to tie with a bunch of people and win the Arnold Classic, and I get 7 reps. It's hard for me to watch this video. I can't go as fast as the others, so I don't regret that I didn't go faster. There was so much tacky on that stone. I didn't put any belt grip or tacky on, and it was ripping the hairs on my chest. Everyone went through it. There was just so much tacky on it, so I couldn't launch it off my chest as I would in training. I had to kind of carry it over that bar. Got my boots on to give me an extra inch and a bit of, it's got a bit of a heel, those boots, so I get a bit more quad activation from the bottom. So I run out of time to get my last rep. It's things like this, how I sat there for that extra second. I sat there for an extra second on 2 reps, maybe 3. Those extra 2 seconds added to the 3 seconds that I have left. That's the 1 more rep, so I gave it away there. And then I wince in pain. I finished 3rd at the Arnold Classic, equal 3rd on countback. I was gutted. I was definitely gutted. 3 event wins. and to not come away with a gold medal was pretty disheartening. Alira came third as well, although a judging decision has her in second, but that's a different story. She was ecstatic at the time, as you can see. We're both happy. All the girls did well. We had a big crew. There were 7 of us competing over the weekend. Yeah, so an interesting weekend. All the ups and downs that you expect with sport, and that's what I love about it. So back into training. I had Saturday and Sunday off, and then it's just bodybuilding all week this week and some speed work. Next competition is Static Monsters World Championships on the Gold Coast. Alira and I are both competing. I'll be in the under 90s, and I'll be putting up my training log and a lot of videos for that. If you feel like following along, then subscribe. I'll be bulking up a little bit, going to put on 5 kilos. I'm still weighing about 83 at the moment. I'm going to weigh in around 88 for that competition, so I've got a fun few weeks ahead. Putting on some weight. For the most part, I'm really happy with how I performed on the day. I've talked to a few of the other guys that we competed with, and everyone has their what ifs. Everyone has their one rep that they missed that would have won them the competition. I mean, out of us top 4 competitors that were all close to winning, everyone has their what ifs. I feel like my deadlift, if the straps hadn't have slipped, the farmers must be half a second or less if I'd just gone a bit faster. And the stones, I just needed that one more rep. So I feel like although we all have our what ifs, you know, I had 3 event wins and I was winning going into the last event, so I'm the most hurt. Just kidding. But there's always next year, or there's always future comps. I just thought I'd put this video up just to show people that might search, you know, how strong do you need to be to compete in the under 80s at a national or international level, and there's some videos of how I did and where I placed, so you can base your efforts off that. Any questions about training or competitions within Australia, please send me an email or comment on here. Don't tell me I suck in comments. I had my first YouTube comment telling me that I sucked, and I'm already hurt enough, everyone. Alright, thanks for watching.